Hello everyone, how are you guys? I hope my sound is good. The scriptex have my teleprompter, always the best technology here in your channel. So today we're gonna talk about some thoughts I have about the first week of this process. Well, technically we are in the day 2, but we can say that there's already a week since the jury selection started. So just gonna talk about some interesting things I found during this first week. The first one, well, just like as an introduction, let's say, I just want to say that what we what I can see here is that a lot of people already made their minds. Uh, Sorry here, guys. Soprosa, how are you? Thank you again for being here. Soprosa, one of the usual suspects. We don't we don't have the totality of the evidence yet, and we can see that there's like a competition, like a war here in this community, and that was expected. Um, One thing that I really don't like is the people who are pro prosecution. They say that the other side the other side they cannot accept that this is a boring crime committed by one person, and this is because we need something more exciting, something more than just Richard Allen committing the crime. And I can say the opposite here, guys. I can say that you need this crime to be a boring crime because you are not able to accept that there are other angles that need to be explored. There are some answers or some questions that need to be answered. So maybe you're avoiding those questions. And I think we just have to wait. We just have to wait to see the totality of the evidence to be able to take a decision or to have a conclusion here, guys. We have to have the mind open to the evidence or to the lack of evidence that is going to be presented during this case. My opinion, so far, I don't think that the prosecution is doing good, really bad job so far. Nick, he used 15 minutes during his open statement. He didn't took advantage of the time he had to be more solid or more convincing towards the jury. That's just my opinion. I always said that the defense lawyers, they are sharks. They have cards under their sleeves, and I'm thinking that a lot of new information that was released during this week is favorable to the defense. Let's say, of course, this is just starting. I'm still trying to be open-minded. My belief is that Richard Allen didn't act alone, that he was an actor of this crime, and some information that was already released during this week makes me think that that's the case. But if tomorrow we see a different a solid evidence showing the opposite, I have to accept that, guys. So, well, just to summarize quickly here, I think there are two specific sides here. If you are pro Allen, I'm not saying you as a viewer because I know you're an intelligent person, but I'm thinking about a lot of people here in this community. They already made their minds. They already think that Richard Allen is innocent. And if tomorrow the defense shows a video of Richard Allen killing the girls, they're gonna say this is a fake video. This is a fabrication. They are not gonna able to accept that. And I can say the same for the prosecution side. If tomorrow we see a video presented by the defense showing, I don't know, a black or a Chinese guy killing the girls, they're not going to accept that. They're going to see that it's, I don't know, a fabrication also. So that was just a quick introduction here. Only my teleprompter fell to the floor. Before going into the my thoughts about the first week, I'm gonna show a quick video here that is not related to the process, let's say, but I always tend to go to the initial first week, first week of the process. I try to see a lot of TV news. How can I say, clips, and I found something interesting here. Maybe it's nothing, but I want to know your opinion, guys, about this. So it's gonna take 2 minutes. I found something really interesting here in this clip, and I want to know what do you think about this. It's gonna take 1 minute, guys. So give me just 1 second here. I'm gonna put
this area and tell us they're going through hundreds of tips trying to find any information that could lead to a possible suspect or suspects in this double murder investigation. So take a look at this video, walking through with Ron Logan today. He's showing us the property. He knows this treacherous terrain better than anyone. So in order to get down there, like I mentioned, went down a large ravine that was so steep, we pretty much had to walk sideways to get down that way. And this is where the girls were found. It's less than half a mile from the Monon High Bridge where they were last seen on Monday.
So this is the thing I want to talk about, and maybe it's nothing, but I found this really interesting. So this is a TV news clip from 2017. I think it was the first week of the murders, and the camera stops during 5 seconds. 5 seconds out of 2 minutes video, let's say. It's a lot. And this is what we can see here. Maybe it's nothing again. I'm not gonna imply anything, but look at this image. We have a stick, right? We have a stick that is cut in 2 pieces. And the cut looks like a serrated blade. We have this twig here, and we have something like looks like a foot print, right? So I don't know. This just click on my mind, and you're gonna see 5 minutes. This is a still image during this TV news clip.
The officers still processing evidence that they gathered here. They were out here for hours.
So I don't know. Sometimes I think that the law enforcement works directly with this TV news, how can we say, units, and maybe that's something to send a message to the killer. So in that clip, we just saw a stick, and we know that
this is where the girls were found. It's less than half a mile from the Monon High Bridge where they were last.
We have a stick that today we know that this is part of the crime scene. At the time, we didn't know that. 1 week after the crime, we didn't know that. Cut into parts, like a foot print here, and these twigs like in an X fashion, let's say, which is the same thing we find in the Abby Williams head. So I don't know. That was something that I wanted to talk about because I tend to go to those first emissions of after the date of the murders, and I don't know. It looks like it's a mess as for the killer. Like we know what we did, what you did. We know about the sticks, of course, about the twigs, and we have your footprints here. Maybe I'm just crazy. I just wanted to know your opinion, guys, about this. But sometimes I think that the law enforcement works with the journalists to send messages to the killers. But let's come back to the subject today. So one thing I wanted to talk about is we tend to react so fast when we have new information, right? So remember that when we learned about Richard Allen going to the bridge to watch the fish, everyone, including myself, I accept, we said, what the fuck? This is so crazy. What's he talking about? Going to the Mono High Bridge, I don't know what's the height, I don't remember, between the bridge and the water. And he's saying that he went there to watch the fish. So we tend to think too fast without taking the time to process the information. Today, we know that when people go there and people are looking to the water, they can see clearly the fishes. It's really clear. So, and again, I'm not pro Allen, guys, and you know my theories, and you are here to discuss anything, but it's really it is what it is. You can see the fish from the bridge, so we react really fast to the information that is released by the defense, by the prosecution, and I think this is the human nature to react like that, guys. If that information is against my beliefs, we're gonna be reactive right away. And it's the opposite. If that information confirms my beliefs, we're gonna be like proactive. We're gonna be like we're gonna accept that information as a fact. And just to say that we have to take the time to really process the information, to see if that makes sense or not. And anyway, same thing with the hair. So now we learned that there was a strand of hair or like a single hair in Abby's hands, and of course there's a storm of opinions here. And when we learn that the hair is maybe related to the family of Libby, everybody said that that's not important. That doesn't mean that Richard Allen is innocent. Of course, we are not stupid. We know that doesn't mean that Richard Allen is innocent. But what does it mean? It means that the prosecution is really, or the law enforcement is really incompetent. 7 years after having that hair, they didn't test it for DNA. Just to clarify the situation, just to say, okay, this hair comes from Libby or from Becky or from anyone else. Just do your freaking job. If you're an investigator, that's part of the investigation, guys. It's really important. And people that are pro prosecution, they try to minimize that. Like, it's not important. It's a female hair. So what are you doing like a big deal about that? Because it's a big part of this investigation. Just at least to discard anything, to discard that is coming from the Richard Allen's family, his wife, his daughter. Come on, guys. We cannot say that this is not important. the prosecution is really sloppy. It's really sloppy. And again, I think Richard Allen is an actor here, but I cannot accept the mistakes that the prosecution is doing, and we are learning day by day by day by day about what they were doing during these 7 years is unacceptable, guys. In my opinion, again, it's just my opinion. Before going too fast here, I'm just gonna check on the chat and just to say hello to you guys again from the 321. Thank you, man. Big supporter from Australia. Thank you for being here. Sobrosa. Thank you again. Sila Stingy. Hola, amigo. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Sila Stingy was in Colombia, my country, during the 70s. So he has a couple of stories to tell. Thank you, man, for being here again. From the 321, opening statement is to give the jury the framework of all evidence and how it all connects. Yeah. And we're going to talk about the opening statement soon here, guys. I think you're right, man. 100%. I'm surprised it was so short too, but it's early days. Precozin, how are you? Nice to have you here again. RC99, thanks, man. I can see you here more often. That's cool, man. So, Rosa, I have zero doubt that Richard Allen will be found guilty. If he chooses not to talk about who else might be involved, what is the prosecution supposed to do? Well, they're supposed to be clear, to have clear information, to do their job, not to wait 7 years to test the hair of that was found in the Abby's hand, to have the comparison to the family of Abby or Libby's family or whatever. That's what they have to do. And again, if Richard Allen is not the only one, and he's the only one who's going to be incarcerated at the end or prosecuted, let's say, does not fall justice. If they are other actors, they need to bring those actors to justice. So they're not doing that, and they're not going to do that. And again, my thinking, my believing is that Richard Allen is going to find is going to be guilty at the end of the jury is going to find Richard Allen guilty. That's going to be the verdict because of the pattern of Judge Gold. Because he's, in my opinion, he's part of this crime too, but he's not having a fair process, and that's why he's going to appeal after the process is finished. And that's why, in my opinion, this case, as I told you guys multiple times, it looks so close to the Stephen Avery's case, so close, in my opinion, because of the mistakes the law enforcement is making here. Richard Allen is going to be free at one point after appealing, or I don't know, it's just my feeling, but again, I may be wrong as usual. Lana, patience is a virtue that I feel so few possess anymore. You simply do very well with it. Hey, how are you, Lana? Thank you for being here. Don Spain, cool man, long time no see. From the 321, unless the prosecution has diverted from one of the main purposes of an opening statement, then there is no more evidence. Yeah, I'm really surprised. I was expecting more from the prosecution. I'm kind of disappointed, but it is what it is. Let's see. We have to hear about the confessions, the context of the confessions. So let's see what's coming. USA Libertarian, I hope they do present irrefutable proof I just don't think they have it. Same here. Same. It doesn't look like that so far. But again, this is just starting. And sometimes the processes are like the sharks. The sharks go to this way and just suddenly they go to the other side. So the wind can change, guys, over time. So let's see. You are just starting here. My point is we have to be open-minded and have the eyes open to the evidence that is going to be presented. RC99, the prosecution's only hope is that the jury are overawed. Don't know what's that. Don't want to let the family down. So, Rosa, to be fair though, Sarah Boone's defense team makes Rossi and Baldwin look like quality defenders. They're really good. They're sharks. And I always say they have cards under their sleeves. It's not gonna be an easy game here for the prosecution, in my opinion. Again, I don't know anything about processors or lawyers or legal things, but it's just my perception, and we are here to talk about that. From the 321, 45 minutes makes for the most effective opening statement with a double murder case. Year for the ladder. 100%. And he was having technical problems to show, or to. I think that's why he used just 15 minutes, because he was supposed to present something on the screen, and they had technical problems to present that information to the jurors. This is so sloppy. They're so stupid, guys. Sorry, so stupid. I'm here having a chat, streaming with you guys, a show with you. 30 minutes after the show, I'm testing my microphone, I'm testing my camera, I'm testing if everything is going well, if my battery is good. And these guys, they had 7 fucking years to present the opening statements, and they are not able to turn on the screen. What's the salary of Nick and their team? How much money is being wasted here, and these guys are not able to turn on a freaking screen, guys. Really stupid. Don't forget to hit the like. Hey, thank you, man. That's a good point. Hit the like, subscribe, guys, please. Ron Logan be like, down the hill. Yeah, faking the voice. I agree. He was just faking it. Silas, I don't think it's anything. I honestly think it's the simplest answer. Richard Allen acting alone or with an unknown accomplice. Yeah, we're going to talk about that soon, Silas. I agree. Anything is possible, but 90% of the new info is coming from the defense. And maybe because the prosecution doesn't have too much to say, but again, we are just starting, you're right. Let's see. Don Spain, 63 feet. Thank you for that. So that's the distance from the bridge to the water. And we know now that we can see fish from that distance. So it's not a crazy statement. It's not just something to move the waters from Richard Allen. Silas, too many white theories out there moving the waters. Spin doctors. Spin doctors are in both sides. And even in the YouTube community, guys, we know that there are YouTubers working with the prosecution, YouTubers working with the defense. There are spin doctors everywhere. So yeah, we have to be careful and try to process the information the best we can. So I've been on bridge. To be fair, you can see fish from up there. Yes. Hey, don't Spain. Are you from Delphi? I didn't know that, or maybe you were just visiting. Interesting to have your opinion here, man. I agree. So many channels have blocked you so far. The fans made the hair sound like more than it is. I don't think so. I don't think so. I disagree. What the defense is trying to show us is that the prosecution is incompetent and stupid, and they're not doing a good investigation. If you go, if you keep that subject in the surface, of course, this is not a big deal. It's just a female hair. Nothing to do. It doesn't mean that Richard Allen is innocent or guilty, but we cannot stay there, guys. It's the job of the prosecution to test that hair. They cannot wait 7 years to do it. It's a big piece of evidence, guys. And so people say, what do you mean that the killer was a girl? Maybe. Why not? I know it's unlikely, but your job as an investigator is to discard that. So you have to test it. You have to see if that hair comes from Abby's family, from Libby's family, from Richard Allen's side, or just from the nature, and it's not related, or from the searchers, whatever. So it's really a big thing, a big. I just become mad with. I think about that guy. Sorry for that. Sometimes I'm just passionate about things. RC29, I only go on good channels like this one. Thank you for being here, man, and for the good vibe. Don Spain, that hair blows my mind that it was tested. I think you mean it wasn't tested. The way the defense team describes the hair was misleading and dishonest. No, it wasn't. It wasn't. The strategy is to show that the prosecution is doing a bad job during the whole investigation. That's my point. It's not to say that because it doesn't belong to Richard Allen is innocent. We cannot stay in the surface, guys. They're saying that the investigators are doing a bad job here since 2017. They're sharks. Those lawyers are sharks, and they have good points, and they're going into the minds of the jurors. That's just my opinion, guys, and I can't see how they are fabricating or constructing this web, and they're doing their job. They're good lawyers. Deja vu. Hello, Deja vu. Happy to have you here. I truly believe Libby knew too much. It's possible. It's possible. She seems to be the target here, in my opinion. The way she was murdered is an indication that she was the target. Just my opinion. And yeah, the whole situation with Anthony Schultz, with Keegan Klein, yeah, maybe she was the target. That's what I think. Use a libertarian. In any other case, someone told you a victim had hair in their hand. You'd want to know whose it is and if it's the killer's. Of course, that is significant. That's my point. That hair could backfire on defense if it's from Richard Allen household. Yeah, but it seems that it's coming from Libby's family. That's what I heard. So correct me, guys, if I have the wrong information, but that's what I heard. That is apparently the hair comes from Libby's. And you're right. If at the end it comes from Richard Allen's side, it's not a good move from the defense. So that's why I don't think the defense would bring that point if it comes from the Allen side. And also, people were reacting too fast. When we heard about the hair, some YouTubers were solid saying that hair was animal hair. They didn't even hear about any other theory. No, it's an animal hair point, solid point. We know that that's not the case. Lana, I think the point of the hair is to show how many time after time the investigation has been flawed. That doesn't make him innocent or guilty. Exactly. You just said my words. That was my point. Precosint. Precosint or precosint? Thank you for being here. A couple minutes behind, but I don't think your thought about the video posing on the sticks is crazy. Yes, sometimes law enforcement do work messages in, but photographers notice things. They are intuitive. Yeah, that still image is, I don't know. It just clicked something in my brain when I was watching that clips. We can see the sticks. We can see like maybe an indication of the type of weapon that was used to cut the stick, the twigs, the footprint. Yeah, that was really, I don't know. I was suspicious about that. The hoodie was from the back seat of a 16-year-old girl's car. If it didn't have any hair on it, that would be suspicious. I agree, but the job of the prosecution is to test it, to discard any crazy theory, to say, okay, this comes from the Levy's family or from the Levy's car, and that's it. No one is going to ask anything if they're doing their job as they are supposed to do it, but they are not doing it. So that's the problem here, guys. A lot of crazy theories, a lot of controversy, because why? Because everything is confusing from the law enforcement. They're not doing their job as they have to do it, or they are supposed to do it. From the 3291, you seem capable of joining us. Troops on the front line. Okay. Sub-Rosa. Next, they're gonna want to investigate genealogy done on the sticks. If the sticks that were placed on the girls, they have some type of DNA or some type of fibers or hairs or whatever, yes, they should do it. They should, of course. That's part of the investigation. They have material found at the crime scene, so they have to do that. It's not crazy. It's the logical thing to do. Just my opinion. I worked as an investigator in another field, not a law enforcement investigator, but the details are in the little things, guys. So I don't know. Kate, how are you? Happy to have you here. You're an unusual suspect here again. Always over. Precosint. The biggest issue I have is that they are taking DNA from the family 2 days before the trial. This is not the first example of law enforcement failing to follow every lead to its end. Exactly. And what the defense is doing is they're opening doors. So look what happened here. Look what happened here. And every day we're going to learn things like that. They're not going to show the whole evidence in the first, or the whole information in the first day of the process. They're seeding something in the juror's mind. Every day they're going to feed information like that to the jurors. And the jurors at one point, they're going to say, what the fuck is going on here? These guys are stupid. It's like in the current read process. It's going to be something like that, or like in the... just to think about that makes me mad, because I think he was an actor, and maybe he's gonna... Okay, let's continue with the chat. Law enforcement tested the hair early on. They knew the mitochondrial DNA was a match for Libby and every other female in her family. They didn't do further testing because they knew it didn't belong to BG. It doesn't matter. They need to know it comes from where. It's just my point. But again, I thought that was the case and makes sense. Okay, the more juror questions, the more reasonable doubt. I agree. Precosint. On Westloop's interview with Becky Patty, she explained how law enforcement came to their house and took a buccal swab from every family member. When? Because at the beginning of the investigation, they took a lot of DNA samples, but it seems that they didn't test it. They just have DNA samples that were never tested. So they're just testing the samples or taking new samples again now. So it's unacceptable, guys, unacceptable. The defense has no case. They know their client is guilty. Maybe they know their client is guilty, but maybe they have a case. Maybe they can prove that there is not reasonable doubt to put Richard Allen in or to convict Richard Allen. I think he's going to be convicted, and mostly because of the pattern of the judge. But there's going to be an appeal. Again, the process is not going to end after this trial. My opinion is that there's going to be an appeal, and this nightmare is going to continue for a couple of years, guys. So Rosa, no matter how much proof is presented, these people will need just one more piece of evidence. What is that piece of evidence? Let's see if the prosecution is going to be able to present that. It doesn't look like that, but yeah, you're right. Maybe it's going to come at one point. From the 321, Kate B, is there anywhere we can find that info? I think it's about the swabs. Silas, hopefully the jury will do their job. They seem to be asking intelligent questions, 100%. When they were asking about, I think it was to Pat Brown, what was your telephone company? Because he had a good signal from the crime scene. That was a really bright question from the juror. And it doesn't look good for the prosecution, guys. And again, I'm not pro Allen. I'm just so disappointed about the way they're conducting this case. Really sloppy. Nick kept the opening statement short and sweet. This is bad. This is it's not good, because it's not a complicated case. It's important to keep the jury's interest. No, they have to keep the jury on their side from the first minute. If the jury is going to get annoyed with Baldwin, no, it was a really stupid movie. That's the case. You have to have the jury on your side since day one. Oh man, I'm already annoyed with Rosie and Baldwin. I'm not. I think they're great, and even if I don't think they're they think actually that Richard Allen is innocent, but great lawyers. I cannot get annoyed of those guys. I think Nick and his team, they need to learn about the other team. Also, Nick had some technical issue and maybe had to adapt, but that's another problem. That's stupid. How is possible that he had 7 years to prepare this case and he had some technical issues? Come on, guys, put a little bit of the budget in an IT technician, something like that. Make sure that this screen is gonna work today at 8 o'clock in the morning. That's your job. That's it. That's part of his job. He cannot have technical issues, guys. It's not acceptable. It's not an excuse or a pretext. If they lose the case for things like that, really, what are you going to say at the end of the process? Deduction. How else would they know if the okay? Just gonna advance a little bit here, guys. Skip some comments. What is the information that it came from Libby's family? I heard that yesterday in multiple channels. People that were broadcasting from the, or people that were present in the call room, and they took notes. I heard that yesterday. So again, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's the information I have. Again, I'm gonna Simon here. I will repeat that every time I see Simon. He was the first guest in my channel. Thank you, man, for being here. I remember you always very well. Diego Pareja, say hello. Hey, what's up, Diego? Happy to see you here, man. Yeah, it's a while, Simon. Cool to have you here, guy. Bossy is here. Hello, Cryptex and everyone. Happy to have you here, Bossy. I'm waiting for your email. You promised it, and no email so far. So waiting for that. In no way does their opening statement reflect beyond reasonable doubt. Defense knowing their client's guilty has little impact on a winning performance. Yeah, I agree. That was my point as well. Oh, Sindal, one of my favorite subs. All of you guys, you're great, but Sindal is here since day one. I have a good relationship with this guy from Netherlands, so happy to have you here. Just gonna skip a couple of comments, guys. Sorry to continue with my notes. Cathy, Nick doesn't need to object. What Baldwin said is correct. The hair belongs to a female relative to Libby's. Yeah, that's the information I have to. It comes from Libby's side. Adam Spain. I'm not from Delphi, but I spent 3 days exploring crime scene area. Really? I didn't know that. Cool, man. Do you have a channel where do you post videos or something like that? Sorry, I don't know if you have it, but it would be really interesting. Simdal, it's extremely sloppy. 100%. Super sloppy. Analyzet, that's the point of the hair for the defense, in my opinion. It demonstrates one more mock-up in a problematic investigation. How many other tests haven't been done yet? Exactly. They are constructing the web, fabricating the web just to show how stupid those guys from the prosecution they are. 100%, that was my point. I think the defense is going to have an easy time poking holes in the investigation, and that's a problem for Abby and Libby, in my opinion. Yeah, I'm very upset. I agree 100%. It's sad. It's sad because at the end, it's not going to be full justice, and yeah, it's really sad. And the problem is not the defense. We cannot blame the defense lawyers. They're doing their jobs. We have to blame the prosecution because they're doing a sloppy job here, in my opinion, again. Kate, you have to remember that the jury is not familiar with this case. Almost all the info is new to them. It's best not to overwhelm them with details early on. Well, they seem to be already overwhelmed. They are asking very good questions. How so? The guy who found the girls at the crime scene, he has reception. He has signal there. So I disagree. I think that they should took advantage of the time they had to present a proper opening statements, and they didn't do it, and they had technical process problems, which is unacceptable. Again, it's part of it's another mistake. It's one after another one after another one after another. It's crazy. This guy cannot be more idiots. They should have eliminated the possibility of the defense being able to jump on it. I don't understand your comment here. It seemed okay. The hair was tested, okay, but the family wasn't. If the fence wildly missed the rehair, Nick absolutely would have objected. But it's the same thing. They don't know where the hair is coming from. Nick's statement was easy to follow. Baldwin's was the defense misleads all the time. The jury is smart enough to figure out on their own. I hope we have the best jurors here, but they're already asking questions that are not in favor of the defense, of the prosecution, sorry. So I think it's the opposite. If the jurors are really smart, they're going to find a lot of problems in the prosecution narrative. Law enforcement in this case and others is a complete shame, I think. Yeah. Yeah, not smart. I agree. So I'm gonna stop here the reading of the comments. I'm gonna come back with my teleprompter, best technology ever in YouTube. So we talked about the fish, Richard Allen watching fish. We talked about the hair. Maybe we're gonna come back to that in the when I come back to the comments. Another really interesting thing here that we learned during those days was that apparently there were two weapons. And how can you explain that they were two weapons? So to me, that indicates that it's really likely that there were two perpetrators at least. So we already know that the injuries that were inflicted to Libby were very different to the injuries that were inflicted to Abby. Abby, she had just one clean cut on her throat, and Libby, and she had three of them. I think I'm frozen, guys. Huh? I don't know. I think I'm back. I think I was frozen. I don't know. Can you tell me, guys, if I'm can you hear me well? It's like my screen is it's frozen. I think I came back. I don't know. Just give me a sign here, guys. So we were talking about the weapons. If we have two weapons and we have two different types of injuries when we compare one girl to the other one, this is one of the multiple elements that shows that there were at least two perpetrators here. So again, another point for the defense, in my opinion, guys. I don't know. What do you think about that? But think about the mind of a juror here when they're listening to this type of things, of this type of information. It doesn't look good for the prosecution, guys. It's just my opinion. Other point interesting was the testimony of Pat Brown, who was the person who found the girls. It was not really clear for me during the previous 7 years that Pat Brown was actually the person who found the girls. because when we heard the interview of Erskine, he did a couple of interviews and he said that he was the one that found the girls. So to me, it was never clear if it was Pat Brown or Erskine. And today, I don't know, guys, if that was clear for you. For me, it wasn't. And today we know that actually it was Pat Brown who found it. So I hope Erskine is going to be also part of the witnesses, and let's hear his side of the story. What was really interesting about the testimony of Pat Brown, in my opinion, was the question that was made to him by the juror. Because Pat Brown said that after finding the girls, he called, I think it was Mullin, to inform him that he found the girls. So one of the jurors asked him at the end of the testimony, what was your service cell phone provider? So those jurors are really intelligent. They're not stupid. They're asking good questions. And what is behind that, as we can imagine, is that if the prosecution narrative is that the cell phone was dead during the whole night from 4 p.m. to, I think it was 4:33 p.m. How so? The guards So there are already a lot of points for the defense. So I don't know, guys. This was a really good question from the jurors. Regarding to this point, I don't have too much information, and I'm gonna go after to the comment section to see what are you're thinking about that, or what information do you have, guys, about this. But I read in a couple of platforms that Abby's finger was used to access Libby's phone. I really don't know what is that about, and if that's like a strategy from the prosecution to say at one point that the cell phone resurrected the next day because Abby was trying to turn on the cell phone. I don't know. That's crazy. I really don't know anything about that. I don't want to speculate. I'm gonna see what are your comments in the comment section. But what we learn is that Abby was killed first and Libby after, so she couldn't use her finger to turn on Libby's cell phone the next day. So I don't know, that opens a kind of worms again here, guys. That's something that it was really interesting as a new information in this case. Now we learned that Abby, she doesn't have shoes. That she was wearing her Converses, her sneakers, but the socks. Sorry, I repeat again. She was not wearing socks. She had her shoes on her Converses. So where are the socks? Is a souvenir that the killer took. It was something that was used to close the mouths of the girls. I don't know if that's something that it was used in a sexual way from the murderer himself when he was. I don't know. I want to see what are your opinions about that. But that was really interesting. No socks, and remember that we know that Keegan Kline, he had some fixation with socks, and you know what I think about the Klines, so we can speculate later about that again. I was watching yesterday, guys, the show made by Criminality by Teresa. It was like 6 hours of show live, very long, but really, really interesting. I don't know if you like Teresa or no. I like her a lot. And the good thing is that she was with Julie Melvin. And to me, it's like a double winning situation there because Julie was in the courtroom taking notes. And we know that Julie, she knows a lot about the case. So she was like during 5 or 6 hours explaining the whole experience she had during the day and giving us her interpretation about what could this information uh, represent or signify. So just if you are interested, it's really it was a really good show, very long but very informative. And again, the most important thing is that Julie Melvin was there. So to me, it's like a double winning situation, let's say. Also, another point that we learned this week was related to the testing of the unspent round, and that Brad Weber's gun was also tested, and the prosecution, they couldn't discard that Brad Weber's gun was also a match, let's say. I don't know if I'm explaining that, but it was not conclusive. So when we hear that the unspent round testing is a junk science, this is another element for the defense. Look, they tested another gun from a guy who is from a person who lives just very close to the crime scene, and they are not able to discard that that gun to be a match to the bullet. So I'm gonna come back to your comments, guys. Here, I think I'm very late on the chat, but let's come back. From the 3021, that's why all evidence is laid out in the opening statement. It gives the jury a forecast. Silas, mistakes were certainly made early on in the investigation, but I don't think they are on track now. Kate, if a prosecutor or defense attorney keeps yelling objection, it annoys the jury and makes them think that the side is hiding something. This is a good point, but I think the storm of objections is gonna come from the prosecution, not from the defense. I can picture Nick objecting every 2 minutes. So I think it's the opposite. It's the prosecution who is gonna object non-stop, but just it's not my point. My it's what I think. Silas, it's rare for them to object during opening. Opening statements don't include all the evidence, just the basic facts of the case necessary to prove the crime. I agree. I respect the defense is crazy in a good way. First, the audience, and now they will try to show the girls were moved in a vehicle. Yeah, they need to create a reasonable doubt here, guys. They're doing their jobs. The jury is going to hear the defense and say that's horseshit. Let's see. They are already asking questions that are not favorable to the prosecution. So let's see. I don't know. We're just starting, guys. Precosigned. Another issue with the investigation were the sticks collected day one or taken 2 weeks later, as the defense claims. Good point. I really don't know when the sticks were collected. But if they were collected 2 weeks later, that's crazy. I don't know. I don't want to speculate about that because I don't have any information. But if they were collected 2 weeks later, the crime scene was contaminated already. We know that there were at least 8 people that were very close to the crime scene on the 14th, just one day. Pat Brown and his team, Erskine and his team, 3 girls. So it makes like 8 people there. So in one day. So imagine the next 2 weeks. So I hope they collected the sticks right away. If not, I expect the prosecution, analyzed. I expect the prosecution to present bullet points of forensic evidence. Instead, they asked prospective jurors how much circumstantial evidence is needed to know a snowman has melted into a puddle. Yeah. Don't underestimate how dumb the average human can be. Totally agree with you, Simdal. Kate, a lot of the defense claims have turned out to be untrue. Like what? I don't know. Untrue or not confirmed? Because the whole Odinist angle, we can think that it's bullshit, but I don't think we can say that it's untrue today. It's just not confirmed, in my opinion. I don't know. Simon, the defense have a problem with their own theory, in my opinion. Why would the girls be removed and bodies returned to a wallet and a mobile phone? Yeah, that's interesting. You're right. It doesn't make sense that the girls were put back. I don't know. I think I lost my internet. Sorry, I don't know what was my last point. But yeah, Simon has a good point. Let's see what's the next piece of information that the defense is gonna bring to support that theory. But yeah, it looks like unlikely. Silas, the signs will show they were killed at the scene. Blood spatter, lividity. So they will have to say they were kidnapped, then brought back to the exact same location. Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know. I really have to think about that. It doesn't sound likely, let's say. The defense are going where the evidence takes them. They are playing it safe, and it pisses people off. Yeah, there's a lot of people pissed already, and it's just day 2. Imagine the next days, guys. It's gonna be crazy. Don't Spain. Okay, just gonna advance here. Karen Reed is guilty as fuck. Cryptics. Her second trial is not gonna to go in her favor. Let's see. I don't know. And if she's not guilty, why is she not in jail or in prison right now? Because the mistakes of the prosecution. That's my point. Maybe she is guilty, but she's not in jail, and maybe she's gonna be free. Why? That's my point. I'm not saying Richard Allen is innocent. I'm just saying that he may go free because of the stupidity of law enforcement. And guys, if you think that Richard Allen is guilty, and at the same time you think that the prosecution is doing a good job, I don't understand that. But anyway, everyone has the right to take the things in his own way, whatever. Analyze. I guess the defense has a bunch of witnesses who will say they went all over the crime scene during the search and the girls were not there. Good point. And apparently there were a lot of searchers with the lights at that side of the creek where the girls were supposedly murdered, or where the girls were murdered actually, and they didn't see anything. So yeah, good point. Cryptex, the Westluts interview was posted 3 years ago. The subject is Becky, clearing up rumors. She's speaking about swabs taken early in the investigation. I know that the law enforcement, they took swabs, but I don't know if the swabs were tested, because we learned right now that law enforcement is testing again. So why? My guess is because they didn't test the swabs at the time. I don't know. It's just the way I can explain that. Why would any criminal return bodies to an area overrun with searches, police, etc.? Yeah, let's see. If the little things matter, is there a way to explain why foreign DNA should be fully tested? Then I guess I don't know what little details mean. Seems like an important item to test, of course. It's a very important item. The hair is a very important item, guys. And it's not the only one. Every single piece of evidence, they need to handle that very carefully. And they don't like doing that. I don't know. The judge has excluded the alternate defense theories. Appeal for sure, yeah, appeal is coming. Again, Stephen Avery's case is very similar to the Stephen Avery's case. This process. Let's see. Don Spain. There's a huge elephant in the room. Derek German says he walked to the ravine. Folks, you can clearly see the crime scene from there, especially between 3:13 and 4 p.m. I don't know. I don't know if... well, I believe you because you said that you were there, Don Spain, so you know the area. So if you're saying that, okay, good point. Thank you for that. Yeah, huge elephant in the room. They presented like 8 witnesses out of 50. Kate. If law enforcement knows BG is a male, why keep testing a female hair? Why not? They need to do it to see where is the procedence of that hair. That can answer a lot of questions. And that's why we have a problem today, because they didn't do it. So they have to do it to answer questions, to say, okay, this comes from Libby's house. This hair comes from Richard Allen's house, from, I don't know. Of course, they have to do it. It's not irrelevant. It's not. We cannot minimize that element, guys. To be fair, the prosecution has a problem too. The perpetrator gets frightened by Derek, so he moves the girls along, murders them, and stages covers the bodies. Yeah, good point. Perpetrator or perpetrators. Just gonna skip all of comments, guys. I'm so late here in the chat. It is very close to where they were killed. Richard Allen would have seen him too. Okay, thanks. So I give you credibility on that comment because you were there during 3 years exploring the area. So thank you for the information, Don Spain. So let's continue here. I have a reason why the killer may return without the bodies. That is to find a lost bullet. Good point. Good point. I have to think about that. User libertarian. What is the proof? Nick has even said the witnesses won't identify Allen. And remember that the defense is also going to play some videos of Richard Allen being like not treated very well in prison. So that's also a seed that is going to be planted in the mind of the jurors, guys. Doesn't look good for real so far. So again, the sharks swim like that, and at one point they changed direction. Maybe that's what is going to happen here, but so far it's not looking good for the prosecution. Simdal, what if Richard Allen's wife is somehow related to the victim family? It is a small town. The work had to be done just to be sure. Exactly. That was I just said. Precusant. Couple of elephants. Sorry guys. Couple of elephants. I lost my mouse. It's acting weird. Sorry guys, here I lost my mouse. I have to come back a little bit. Just 1 second, guys. Okay, here. Couple of elephants, in my opinion. Cheyenne says Tara and Derek arrived together and didn't ask her if she had seen the girls. From the 3021, bodies returned to a bullet and a mobile phone. Why didn't all the early search warrants focus on weapons if their bullet was key evidence? The phone was pinging all around town. And again, my usual question here, guys: why the murderer he didn't throw the phone into the water? I don't understand that. It's crazy. I analyzed. I wonder sometimes if evidence is really against a defendant, if defense attorneys try to introduce things that are likely to fail. Interesting. Precusine. Cryptex, they didn't have any dollar left after spending $70,000 on the multimedia podium and $1 million looking for the knives and the cell phones of the Wabash River search. And I said, like Rocks has said, Richard Allen had one job, to shut the fuck up, and he didn't. He didn't. Because of the confessions. But let's see what's that. Let's see what's the context of the confessions. A lot of those confessions are going to be related to cellmates of Richard Allen, and we know what that information comes from someone who is in prison. The credibility is under the table. It's on the table, let's say so. If he confessed things that didn't happen, and if he was coerced, again, let's see what is the video that the defense is gonna present regarding the confessions. They saw that there's a horrible situation there, or that the video shows that Richard Allen was subjected to horrible conditions or something like that during the confessions. Let's see. I don't know. I want to see what's the context of those confessions. It's not. I cannot say anything yet about that. I want to wait for the information. Sorry, I'm thirsty. Sub Rosa. What is the proof? Ballistic evidence, cell phone evidence, eyewitnesses, video of BG, and video of Rick's car. If there was any DNA, just like the Pro Burgers, it would have been planted, right? But I can challenge every single point here, Sub Rosa. Ballistic evidence, again. A lot of people here says that that's the junk science. I don't know anything about that, but the fact that the Brad Weber's weapon couldn't be excluded in that scenario, that doesn't play well for the prosecution. Cell phone evidence, that's the worst. If the fact that the Libby's phone was dead during hours, and it resurrected at one point after 11 hours of being dead, it doesn't play good for the prosecution, just my opinion. Eyewitnesses, same thing. They're gonna be interrogated by the defense, and they're gonna find how can I say contradictions in their statements. Video of BG and video rec. I want to see that videos. Let's see. So anyway, so far the evidence doesn't seem to be super solid, but I don't know. Silas, I love Ruckus. Me too, I love Ruckus. I disagree with a lot of points he has. He's really super pro prosecution because he was a former law enforcement, but yeah, he's a nice guy. I like him. And he's saying that Richard Allen is going to play guilty like since 2 years ago. Maybe it's going to happen, but I don't see it. Look at the Long Island serial killer bail applications, her evidence. They used a female hair and the perpetrator is male, of course. There's a reason why you test it fully, sure. If it was a partial match, wrap that up. Again. The defense missed an opportunity by not asking DG on the stand about the ravine. It would bolster the theory that the girls were not there, in my opinion. I don't know if the witnesses, they can come back or not, or if they were interrogated once, that's it. I don't know how does it work, because you have a good point, but I wonder at the same time, they can't call Derek German again. I don't know. Sorry here, guys. Analyzed. Apparently, the hair has been matched by DNA to Libby's family, but it hasn't been researched deep enough to pinpoint the exact family member. Weak issue. Right. I'm gonna skip a couple of comments here. I think they should have a backup overhead projector just in case. 100%. That's so stupid. It's incredible. We have the first storm of the season. Outside is wild. Storm Ashley. Look, if the hair doesn't matter, why are they scrambling to test? Of course, it matters a lot. Brett Decker, hi Cryptex, and all in chat. Hi Brett, sorry. Remember to hit the like, guys, and to subscribe. I'm just gonna upload it to. Yeah. Thank you, Precosant. Hit the like, exactly. Rebecca Ann, this investigation was so messed up. If anyone is mad at law enforcement. I agree, 100%. Lost interviews, good point. No testing the family, no phone data. You're right. No challenge cryptex, just a channel surfer. Okay. You should have a channel, man. Some of you guys, you have awesome points. You should have your channel, and like this community is gonna be like it's gonna grow. It's not that hard. Create maybe just to have lives like this. Imagine Don't Spend, Analyzed, all of you guys. You should do it. You have awesome points. To shut the defense up, same as when they took DNA of the Odinist. Just gonna skip a couple of comments. Sorry guys, but I'm so late in the chat. Analyzed. If the hair doesn't fit, you must acquit. Objection. Silas or Silas? I don't know if I'm pronouncing well your name. Just a second, guys, here. The data on these phones don't lie. That was a great sentence from Baldwin. It was a way to say, look, the prosecution is lying, but data, phone data doesn't lie. The guy is bright. I think Baldwin is bright, a bright guy. He's just sending messages to the juror without saying the words. It's really bright, that guy. Silas, I'm sure mistakes are made in every investigation. I still think they have enough, and the jury will get it right. Let's see, yeah. Let's see. This is just the beginning. I hope so, but so far could be the opposite. Could be that more mistakes are gonna be shown to the jurors and to the public. I don't know. So far, I'm not so optimist. So let's see. I'm gonna advance. All that money they got for this investigation and nothing to show. I agree. Simdal. Sure, but in this case, the mistakes are a bit much. That's my point too. I agree with you. They were clearly not prepared for such a case. Yeah, when I compare Nick with Baldwin, there's no comparison, guys. So we can see how bright one of the guys is there and how sloppy the other one is. I think the prosecution should have a better lawyer, but just my opinion. I don't know. So far, that's my perception. Here, precocigned. Law enforcement are humans. Humans make mistakes, but this magnitude is not typical, and the locals should be pissed. 100%. Brandon opinion is that Richard Allen is innocent. I don't think he's innocent, but again, it's my opinion too. But I don't think he's the only one here in this scenario. So let's see. If they can show Richard Allen was gone, it's game over. That's bad. I made a video this week about the 2:15 p.m. Situation that he was gone by 2:15. So let's see what's gonna be presented by the defense. But I agree, if they are able to demonstrate that Richard Allen was not there by 2:15, he's done. I don't know. Stop spamming. Sindal, you can help me with that. You're a moderator here, man. So use your wrench to fix that. Richard Allen is innocent again. Spamming. Yeah, we know your point. Come on, guys. How can I? Okay, just banned Brandon, who was spamming the chat. Sorry for that, guys. I was so late, I didn't see. Analyzet. I expected the prosecution to have strong forensic evidence to present at opening, like items taken from Richard Allen's home. Apparently, all they have is circumstantial. As a juror, I wouldn't convict on that. Yeah, good point. And let's see what was found on his car. Yeah, there's a lot of information we don't have yet. So this is a good point. I would love to know what was found as an evidence regarding the items that were taken from the Richard Allen's house. More to come. Okay, we have a big troll here. Okay. Yeah, Brandon Stam shut down the live stream. Okay, I was attacked. Moderators, you can use your wrench when you see some behavior like that in the chat. RC99, the jury are sequestered. We can chill out with trying to control the narrative, even if I agree. We don't mind different opinions, just don't spam. Yeah, exactly. And you know that in this channel, guys, we can have different opinions. We can discuss with without needing to spam the chat or to fight. So don't do that. And as I said, the troll has arrived. He attacked True Crime Web recently, really. And Steve said, trolls like that do things because their mamas don't let them out of the basement often enough. Yeah, it looks like Derek Gotzi. You remember that? That troll? Maybe he came back. We can definitely agree on that last point. And one thing, the FBI out when you have zero resources is suspicious. I love True Crime Web, such a smart guy. Yeah, he's bright. I love Steve. I was really glad that he accepted to be here as a guest, and he's one of the creators that still, even if he is pro prosecution, we can see that his mind is still open. He's able to accept different theories that even to answer that he doesn't know. When I asked him a couple of questions that are hard questions, he said, I just don't know. So he's not arrogant. He's really bright guy. So yeah, I love that guy too. Brandon comes in so fast. I couldn't block. I report him. I'm not a mod, but we can all block or report. I don't know how to put you as a moderator here, Analyset, because I'm not in YouTube, but I'm gonna do it. Anyway. Yeah. Brandon is killing the momentum. Sorry for that, guys, but trolls happen, shit happens, so. Deja vu. Have a great Sunday, you too. Brandon's still here. Come on, man. Get a life. Seriously. Seriously, man. Precosigned. I'm very pleased about the jury question so far. Mullen got impeached real quick about how long it actually takes to walk back and forth. Yeah, me too. I'm super pleased about the jury questions. Bright questions, intelligent questions. So it's glad to see that the juror is composed by intelligent people. And that's good for both sides, for the pro Allen and for the pro prosecution. Someone in True Crime Web's chat said Brandon needed a hug and probably a straight jacket. Not sure I'm gonna give him a hug, but anyway. Brandon needs a hobby. Maybe he found one. That's the problem. Sinclair read. Sorry, I'm a bit behind, but David Erskine, the whole during the Sunrise story was Val only? Is it possible that Pat Brown and David Erskine were on the same search party? I think they were in different parties, and the deer didn't come from Pat Brown, but from other guy, and that was not even discussed during the second day yesterday. So they didn't attack that deer statement. But I think they were in different search parties, and they were there before law enforcement appeared or was called to the crime scene. It's really weird because I remember David Erskine saying that he found the girls and he called law enforcement, and now it was like clarified that actually it was Pat Brown. But both of them, they found the girls maybe at different times, and both of them, they called law enforcement. So I don't know, something to clarify. Good point. Mullin got caught 9 minutes I guess it's a 20-minute walk. Yeah, I heard something about that. He did a mistake, a big mistake there. Brandon, does cryptex have a speech impediment? Maybe. Maybe I have. Can you help me with that? From the 3021, it seems the bullet was the only evidence they had that was not post-arrest. 100%. Do you have to be alive for your finger to work to unlock a phone? Good point. Good point. I don't know. I don't think your fingerprint is gonna change if you are alive or unalive. I think it's gonna work. It's just my opinion. I don't think it's gonna change. So what you're saying is that maybe someone moved the finger of Abby to unlock Libby's phone. It's a good point, but I don't think it's gonna change if the girl is alive or not. Criminal Network. What's up, my brother? What's up, man? Happy to have you here. I saw you yesterday in Teresa's channel, Criminality. You have very good points, man, always. So nice to have you here, man. We don't mind you being a Richard Allen fanboy. Just don't direct the chat. Yeah, just don't be a troll, man. So, Brosa, Cryptex's first language is not English, and his English is better than most people who only speak English. Thank you for the motivation here. It's not even my third language. It's my second one. It's my third. So sorry if I do sloppy things sometimes here, guys. Usually libertarian. I was just about to say I remember something about Keegan Klein and socks. Exactly. Keegan Klein, he had a fixation with socks. Now we know that Abby's socks were not present, so she was just wearing her Converses. Yeah, and you know what's my theory about the Klein. So another element to add to that crazy theory I have. Anyway, Criminal Network. It was a fun 6 hours. Yeah, every single minute of that show was awesome, man. Very good information, a very good guest. So yeah, I agree. I'm even more confused about clothing now. Abby must have put her own shoes back on her feet, minus socks. Where beyond the abduction did the rest of the crime happen? Nothing fits. Yeah, there's a lot of holes here. It's crazy. Silas, I speak Spanish, but Cryptex speaks English better than I speak Spanish. Thank you, guys, for the moral. I know that not speaking perfectly is part of my charm. So, thanks, guys. I love your support. I seen enough movies where people use an eye on a fork to unlock a retina scan. Yeah, me too. It's good to know a little Spanish here in the West. Lots of Mexican people. Yeah, there's a lot of Mexican people especially in Florida, Latino, Colombians, people from Cuba. Okay, Silas, I fear she tried to redress in a hurry to escape and put on the clothes she could grab. It's a good point. It's not impossible. The Richard Allen Innocence Project has entered the chat. These are your people, guys. Bob Mada, Brandon, Andrea, Rick Snay, Anthony Grino. All your team. And I'm not even against Allen. So I don't know what's going on here, guys. I'm sorry, guys. I gotta go. I can't watch Cryptex voice. Keeps me laugh, at least. It was bad if I make you cry, man. Weber's gun was not a match, exactly. That was one of my points. So I'm just gonna skip some comments here, guys. It's freezing, Cryptex. Okay, Analyset. That about Brad's gun has been making the rounds, but someone in a chat who claims to know said Brad got his gun returned after a 6-month struggle. If match, return unlikely. Yeah, good point. Sinclair, a lot of projection in the chat. Defend your opinions without ad hominem attacks. Yeah, that's part of the game, guys. Trolls are everywhere, and of course, they're gonna come here. None of the Richard Allen apologists have the courage to say any of this stuff to the families of the victims. A question for online attorneys. If your client is innocent but has no alibi and admits he was in the area at the time, how do you defend? I assume not honest. Good point. Okay, Criminal Network. Criminal Network thinks that Asatru and Odinism was definitely involved. I know that that's one of your beliefs. I think it's unlikely, but it's unlikely as a ritualistic scenario. I think that maybe Odinist guys, they could be involved, but mostly like in a drug-related scenario, let's say. But let's see. Precosite. Ejection markings are accepted on fired casings, but ballistics as a whole is a subjective field. They cannot present their finding as definitive. Analyset. The argument against ejector marks on firearms cartridge is that modern guns are machine manufactured so precisely that many will have some pattern. There would be some variations. Yeah, good point. Okay. Criminal Network, ballistics is firing the weapon. Marking are powerful. Extraction marks are not ballistics. Yeah, that's gonna be a problem for the defense. 100%. So guys, I think it's already almost 2 hours, so I'm just gonna read the last comments here, and we're gonna finish the live. Thank you again, guys, for being here. Sorry for the troll, but shit happens. So I'm just gonna read the last comments, and let's see what's gonna come this week in the process. If there was an actor along with Rick, why is he not singing to save his life? My theory is because if he talks about the other actor, he is confessing himself his own role in the murder. So he's gonna accept that he's guilty as well. So that's why I think he's not talking about the other actor. I don't know if that's clear, but that's what I think. USA Libertarian, the defense presenting an unlikely alternate theory may be a mistake unless they have convincing evidence. Yeah, let's see what are going to present this week. Okay, guys, I think I'm just gonna end the live. Thank you again for being here, guys. Sorry again for the troll. Let's see if we can we can meet again this week. I have a very, very nice surprise for you guys. The guest I'm gonna have in the channel is gonna be awesome. You're gonna love it. Farmer is here. Hello, Farmer. How are you? Nice to have you here, man. Looking forward for the next show with you guys. Farmer, sorry. Don't hate create. How are you? A lot of comments that I was not able to read, guys. But again, thank you so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed the chat, the live, and keep in touch. See you this week. Stay tuned. Ciao.